Motorcycle Grand Prix of Austria. Yeah. And then right at the very back, Michele Pirro, who's in for Pecco Bagnaia. Miles, round 4 of 14. Of course, we're on round 5 of My World. Can't write a script for MotoGP at the minute.
No, ever since Marquez got injured at that first, much the favourite, you'd have said, but then everything started to go wrong from the second round of the championship. Pol Espargaro's been consistently the fastest man all weekend.
Yeah.
Can get the first 2 or 3 laps under his belt and he's in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah. Motorcycle Grand Prix of Austria.
You have to try and pass the person in front of you.
Opportunity is here. Quartararo leads this world title on 31 points, so he's equal really with Morbidelli in 3rd place. That's how it shapes up. There is the My World Motorcycle Grand Prix of Austria. Who's going to lead into turn 1? 28 laps. The Ducati, that launch control worked for him, didn't it? Jack Miller leads. Yeah.
Second row.
Disaster for some riders at that point. I think Quartararo being one of them. Let's wait and see as we get to Dobby's right there. Dobby looks at the inside of Maverick. That is brave. Straight away on it at turn 3. Yeah.
It's never easy on the first lap with a full tank of fuel. You feel like the bike's pushing you.
He was absolutely... He's still revving up, actually, about Zarco.
Seen from pole position, he's been duffed up on 3 occasions so far.
Again, Morbidelli and Quartararo with Valentino Rossi up behind them as well. Quartararo.
Here comes Rins.
Yeah, Rins is through as well. Back goes another place, but soon Maverick in the front was not great when it had a fuel tank full of fuel. 28 laps, as I say, it's a long old race, 75 miles around here. Track temperature is good. Absolutely superb. Backing it in, Jack. Go on.
Do you know, I've watched him
on the gas as soon as he could do, though. The two differences in style at the front, from Miller to Dovizioso.
The dirt really comes in fully sideways.
But Dobby's tyres are taking less stick.
That motorcycle underneath you with that grip, it just... If you wear that rear tyre, you want it.
And that might be working it fairly hard. You can be sure Pol Espargaro is. If he gets a sniff of a win here, Pol Espargaro, it's the last point scoring place. Here comes Pol Espargaro up the inside, as you would expect, but he runs it wide.
If you pass him on the brakes into a corner, you will not make the apex. Ask Marc Marquez.
He's as aggressive as Marc Marquez, there is no doubt in my mind about that, and he will want to be able to put a block white line, Dobby, all the way down the back straight. This is Mir we're looking at. Look, he's got better up the hill now. Look at Dobby. Dobby's lining himself up. He doesn't want to be where Pol... Dovizioso looking at the inside of Miller, not this time around.
The good news, Keith, is they're on.
It was a brilliant start from him, of course. Maverick Vinales is not out of this, you know. Maverick Vinales, that's it. During Moto 2, motorcycles, it's all very well doing a practice lap in FP4 to destabilising your lap.
That's Binder now. He's on his own. He's got some clear track.
That would be out of this world.
One thing we know about Brad Binder is he's a proper old school racer.
He doesn't get scruffy as his determination to get to the front.
And fastest man.
There you go. Moment. Andrea Dovizioso.
Oh, sorry, that was close there with Maverick.
24.8 is where we're at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a weird weekend. Not a lot of rubber down. You need consistent conditions so you can figure out the puzzle of this technical little track.
When there's less corners or less to do, or a simple track, but it isn't. It's harder to get those last few.
About 0.7 off.
Hang on, Dobby there with a big shake. So Dobby then got it spun up a little bit, and that's allowed Pol. Pol's got to bring it down to the apex. So Pol Espargaro goes second on the KTM.
It's turning in too well.
Looks like it's washing out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like
to
it's
the outside.
Yeah,
it does.
As he's just not working, but there's 24 laps to go, so...
Pol Espargaro. Miller lines himself up. Here comes a guy. He looks so neat, so incredible. Straight back at him, Pol Espargaro, and all the time, menacingly, is Joan Mir, learning from the Ferraro. Championship leader, remember, by 17 points from Maverick Vinales. Maverick Vinales is in 6th now.
Great shot.
Back to 4th.
And that's the difference of this track. If you saw the track guide, there's a difference there. Easily pulled it inside Andrea Dovizioso on the Ducati. That obviously...
Max, Jack Miller from the factory KTM. Well, of KTM's rocket ship of a motorcycle. They had things to test after Brunner. Nobody's been shouting about them, that's for sure.
And the Binder watch has now got Marco, and he's catching the whole group.
Jack Miller's setting good pace up face here. Getting edged out was Morbidelli, I think, was it? Must have been Morbidelli that was getting Quartararo that are side by side. The other Petronas bike being Quartararo, of course. Him out. There's a little bit of wheel being shown there, and a little bit of elbow followed it.
Championship leader, what's happened here?
Oh, that's a big disaster. Well, they say they've sorted out their technical problem.
Wow.
That's big. Massive. Here goes Pol Espargaro. Pol Espargaro. they're going nuts in the grandstand. It's such a KTM leads. Oh, here comes Rossi now on his teammate, and he lost that at the front.
Here we go. Yeah, it's going to be down into turn 4.
So,
yeah, he's going to go straight.
Massive as well, into the dirt as well. Massively, he's 22nd and stone last.
Wow. And do you know what? You don't see Quartararo make them mistakes. Do you at all?
This track just hasn't really Lorenzo knife through butter style. KTM's working all the way around. It's Miguel to make it back-to-back wins for KTM. Bruno was Binder.
Yeah, and you mentioned Miguel Oliveira just set the fastest lap of the race, as you saw on the screen. There he is.
Where he is.
But what he is a methodical racer. In his second year now on that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Where are the Hondas?
Yeah.
Where are the Yamaha? Two main manufacturers.
Dobby neat there, slides through on the Suzuki. Suzuki looks sharp. So the 4th place man is now Joan Mir. Gone back on the 36 bike, back to 4th place.
You feel like at this point in the race, Dovizioso's heart rate will be at about 100. It's like he's this track. I mean, he's won it. But every race, the 4 times we've been here, Dobby.
2nd in 2016 and 2018, 1 here in 2017 and 2019. Most successful. So Dovizioso goes up into 2nd place now and sets about Pole Espargaro here. All that information on the board, I don't know whether I could take it all in. We've not seen Pole under much pressure just yet. I wonder how he'll respond to it. Here's Alex Marquez.
Alex Marquez and Cal Crutchlow battling for.
Oh, big off!
Whoa! That's out King. They'll have crashed at turn 2, I'm guessing.
I think they're tangled in the braking area, coming down.
That is. Oh! I cannot believe Valentino Rossi there.
Yeah.
This is. Just watch Valentino Rossi tipping into the corner. Now.
Right into it.
What a mess.
Yeah.
There's been a collision there.
They were coming in there. That's Morbidelli. Yeah, it's out now straight away. So red flag. I wonder what happened there. Morbidelli, that's, well...
Track, believe it or not, it's a 200 mile an hour.
Yeah. The My World Motorcycle Grand Prix of Austria. The red lights come on, they go out. And that's a great start. Look inside, he's going to run wide, that's for sure. Very, very wide. Gets on the gas on the red stuff. He knew how to do it. He wasn't going to be thwarted.
It's a bit of a grey area, that.
Yeah, a bit of one.
They're not penalising anyone for it.
But careful, this is like a motor race at these hairpins, isn't it? So, Pole Espargaro leads off again. He's got a hard front tyre on. How good's that going to work early on in this race? Is it going to be better later? Has done a great start there. Rins to get himself up into 4th place. And he's going to... Here we go then, end of lap 1. 19 laps to go. 2.6 miles a lap. The 2 Suzuki's right in it. Look where Brad Binder is. Remember where he started? Originally, he was back, well, way down on the 6th.
He's in 20th.
Unreal.
I've no idea what happened on the first lap, but he's at the back.
He'll kind of fight. He isn't really going to recover substantially from that.
I bet Binder can't believe it.
Oh, Rins makes it up the inside of Miguel out of a corner. It must be a joy to ride.
Yeah.
Miller. Binder's going to get him. And hang on. Yeah. Hello, Brad. Yep. That's the goat you've just like when he goes through sandpits and the like, don't we? At Assen, for instance. Valentino knows how to take advantage.
Binder making absolutely no friends in the MotoGP paddock.
Yeah, well, yeah, I doubt he'll forwards, didn't he? So Binder, 7th place for Binder. Now he's after Miguel Oliveira. Past Alex Marquez. There's Maverick Vinales, 2nd from last.
On that first lap.
Suzuki's looking good. I wondered about tyres. He probably isn't on the leash that he would normally be on for tyres now at the end of the race. Perhaps he hasn't now. So Jack Miller, 24 up there. He's going to go past Dobby. Not quite, but it looked like over the hill there. He got the horsepower.
He tried to he had half a look about outbraking him, and he didn't make the apex.
Brakes, that's for sure. Dobby in 2nd place on the 0-4. 36 and 42 on other KTM.
Miller, 2 fastest laps on the roll. That
3 in his only win.
Assen was in 16, was it?
2016.
Wow.
Job, isn't it? He's getting past left, right and centre.
What?
Where the bikes just flew over his... Yeah.
To see that again, that was bizarre.
Yeah, we need to see it from overhead. Jack Miller easing away from back to the end of the lap. We've got 16 laps to go in a minute, in a second. Looking proper racy. Pole Espargaro's got a problem with 2 Suzukis coming his way. Then you've got Miguel Oliveira.
I think Vinales, it was his clutch slipping. Alex Lowe's, who's obviously watching at home, texted me saying clutch.
Well, 2 starts in quick succession.
Yeah.
Something else that...
Yeah.
Jack Miller easing away. Second leader
in the championship is going to score no points.
So Quartararo's down in 13th place, and for third completely, Andrea Dovizioso could be leading the championship by the end of this if he works hard.
Yeah,
the argument. That's done and dusted. If you haven't seen it, it's hopefully goes. Yes, that came well, didn't it? So Pole goes back a place. Will he be out? The Suzuki's still not the sharpest thing in the straight line, but wait till we get to the braking area.
Fine.
But you know Rins is going to be coming back. Those two Suzukis look very, very strong. Yeah, happened a moment ago. Moving uphill. Oh, doesn't look that bad, does it, compared with the KTM there? Still it is 13 for 4th.
Just looks like that KTM doesn't turn when Zarco went round to shake his hand.
I want to see Alessia Spargaro together with Danilo Petrucci. Yeah, that's moved Pole out the way. Miller over the line. Whoa, Pole Espargaro's getting a bit raggedy now. He's got another Suzuki along now.
Yeah, if he does that again, he'll be getting a long lap penalty.
He will be, because you can't go out there. Pole, don't think it's the fastest thing, but he's going to be alongside into the braking. Goes down a little, I think, by Dovi here, and that's so typically Dovi, isn't it? 0.9 it is now. It's point in that last sector.
Yeah, it's that yo-yo effect. That last sector, Dovi's just so...
Yeah, absolute maximum and minimum.
Yeah, still 14 laps to go.
All package over the length of the race. Let's wait and see whether it pays off. He's right on the case of Dovizioso, whereas Pole Espargaro is scrapping away now for 4th place.
24 flat. He's a full second faster than the leader.
Yeah, he's touching it, but that's all it takes at this kind of level.
Look at him close.
Watch the way it turns.
Look at that. Look, watch the bikes pull away from him, though. That's the...
Well, I think that's the camera angle more than anything. I mean, that's Suzuki, the first tap in. In fact, you can look at the top speed sheets and see that in a race. Makes life a little easier if you've got 6 or 7 mile an hour and you can squeeze up the inside of Suzuki. Really was.
Watch Miller though on the brakes.
Yeah, just jams it under pole.
And then
Suzuki, absolutely brilliant off the second row. Yeah, he was straight. As soon as he got
wide,
as soon as he got over the lumpy bit, he was straight on the throttle.
He's on the first lap for going wide at turn 1, so why wouldn't you?
Runs it a little wide there. Yeah, Rins looking at Dovizioso again. Dovi on the brake. It turns in really well.
It's just at this point as they go through the gears.
Factory Ducati and the full works factory Ducati. Down to setup and gearing at the end of the day. And that's a freaky down on the knee of Rins. dearie me. Pit Byra. KTM's great hope for this weekend, their home Grand Prix.
And Miguel
Oliveira. Yeah, had their hands in the air. Well, the fairy tale has ended here as goes past the Pramac bike of Miller. And Rins may have taken a bit. Went a little squirrely earlier. Wow, that was a half a lap and a half.
Yeah, if I was Miller now, I'd be...
That's them, wasn't he, into there. As Rins closes in, Mir closes in. That's your top 4. 2 Suzuki, Pole Espargaro. Great hopes for KTM here. But the other KTM, hang on a minute, I'd forgotten about him. Let's have a look. Pole Espargaro runs out wide. That's another one where Pole was out wide. Miguel had lost was on the racing line. Pole came back and it by the time we got to it. I don't know whether the front was pushing under him. It looked a bit that way from the onboard. Suzuki looks after it tyres well. Rins is on for a race win. The only trouble is that the Ducati at the Suzuki.
Yeah, impressive.
It is impressive. On the brakes, it closes in on David.
There's a lot of expectation this season from him. Yet to see him sort of convert it into a decent result.
So, Dovi leads. But it's Alex Rins on the move.
No, dislocated the shoulder, tore tendons, fractured his humerus.
All the things. So there goes Pole Espargaro to bang his head on the KTM wall. Not a happy day as it turns. Yeah.
Rins
has gone down. Rins is in. Crashed out. Asked too much from the Suzuki. Davide Brivio. It was a Take a look. Oh dear me. Wait for that front end to skip out from under it. Rins has gone.
At least he's okay.
Yeah, relative.
Yeah.
So the 36.
On for a win.
That's another good point, of course. The 22-year-old on the podium. His best finish has been 5th up to now for Joan Mir. Miguel Oliveira comes. Yeah. Pole Espargaro's.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
Welcome to MotoGP fans. It's all happening.
You got men wrecking TV monitors.
Tell you what, I can't even believe that with Oliver. Yeah. Meanwhile, whilst everything's going on, crazy, Brad Binder, who qualified.
Binder, he scored 3 points up until he got to Brno, where he scored 25 for a race win. Now he hasn't given up on a possibility yet, but you can't help but think that Andrea Dovizioso is doing it when he unleashes whatever he's got left.
You've described it perfect, because what he's doing right now is going into control mode. Breath as well, physically, ready for the last 5 laps or last 3 laps.
Problem is with this race, I used to hate tracks like that. You got time to think about what you might be getting for tea. Look at an eye, he's doing 25s now instead of the 24s we were seeing before. That's going to allow Binder. He's doing 25 threes as well, at similar time, so he's not closing it down, looking at the monitor. That Suzuki's good with its tyres.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's in with a chance still.
Mir loves.
And that's always good for your mentality. Didn't make it here, he was injured last year, so he didn't race. Yeah, he's not done any mileage around here. You spoke about it early on in the commentary that Binder with the... So he comes to the race a bit short of track time. And Jack Miller's a fighter. If he's got a motorcycle under him at the end of this, he is going to push.
Potential teammate for next year, yeah, because he ain't going to be.
He ain't going to be there anymore. Rins comes back. Yeah,
it seems like a lifetime ago.
Almost forgot about this bloke as well. He's only 9th. 9th is a land of opportunity at the moment. There are opportunities here for doing just about anybody's to win the championship this year. He's turned in a 24/7 then compared with the 25
exactly.
dead. So
yeah, quarter of a second faster. But
his sleeve for the final few laps either. He might have a bit more. We're on board with Brad Binder.
Boring, but you can't not bet on Dovi.
You can't not. But it's got a feel about it. Yeah.
10th last time out.
Maverick Vinales really has been a massive disappointment.
I think it...
Look at that. The fairing of the Suzuki slides nicely on his back side, a bit of luge. Yeah.
Suzuki, and this is definitely one of them. So Mir's going to give it a go. And that Suzuki is...
Mir that have not been in this position before. When 3 are close together like this, you could have a total wipeout.
I've just seen him drop down the order.
Yeah, he's dropped right to the back of the
20th.
Yeah.
One of them races, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a few things we know. Jack's going to give it a go, isn't he?
Yep.
He ain't going to settle for second. Mir's...
Yeah. Nakagami, the best of the Honda, is he, in MotoGP? Thought it might have been on, but it isn't. They're back next week. Mir on... Look at this. Dovi there by a long way. So this is the time then, with 5 laps to go. Someone like Dovizioso. He just knocks off to the end now. Petrucci getting a bit squirrely. He's going to get caught by very, very unnecessary, if you ask me. He was at fault last time out. He completely mucked up Petrucci's qualifying lap. Yeah.
It's looking like we're going to have... this is going to be the battle for second, because Dovi's just creeping...
Quicker than Miller on that last lap. Yeah. Which is so typical. I've got a feeling that Suzuki's going to be sneaking up the inside in the brakes in a minute. He'll be taking a more traditional line in. Meanwhile, Dovi's up and over the hill and down towards turn 2 and 3. Yeah. Pretty much out on his own on the seamless gearboxes. The scene of where flying motorcycles were using him, Nakagami. He did a 25.1 compared with a 25.0 of Rossi, so Rossi seemed... Dovizioso's lead at the line was a 0.812. It's up to 0.8. Jack Miller here and Joan Mir in 3rd place. Well, the way he used the rear brake on a Moto3, far different from anyone else in Moto3 at the time.
Coming out of, I think it's turn 2 into turn 3, sort of throwing his body over the bike, like... Absolutely.
He had a MotoGP style on a smaller bike.
And he absolutely dominated the...
rear brake as he used to pull the thing down. Do you remember? Yeah. On the brakes. Still Binder. Binder with a fist now.
He might just run out of laps, Valentino. I'll tell you, Valentino will want it back, because...
Now, this is a massive opportunity to grab massive points over your series leaders. Points, which will give him 56 points.
What a shame it will be. You know, we know Dovi's not right your ride, because that is the only option. The only other option, potentially, you could say, would be the...
Yeah.
If the... For a Vinci, you ain't going to ride for another Ducati, obviously, so there are no rides. I'm sure Valentino was.
3-2 second lead at the line. It's been dropped back on. So Dovi just easing away as Dovi does. He's looking neat, tidy, a mistake. And I've got to say, that's pretty rare. Easy.
Well, he's got a very old school riding style. He sits quite central on the bike. He's not dragging his elbow. How Johnny rides the Kawasaki.
Portimao. Johnny Ray. Johnny Ray at Portimao. Now the final round on the newly resurfaced Portimao track. It's going to be.
These two are very, very good friends.
Last lap time. They might be falling out by the end of this one. By 1.2 seconds. He's got this job done. 2.6 miles left for Dobby to do. The battle is
left-handers
closing him down. I reckon he might have a go at the inside of 9 and 10. Blast it to the line from there. 1.2 the lead over Andrea Dovizioso at the moment. Off up for a last gasp attempt at second place. This Joan Mir.
And he's not near enough into this
place on that Suzuki.
Oh, Jack was late there.
And he knows he has to take this. Grand Prix of Austria. He's well out front, but he's closing now. We've seen this before. Miller's just on a protective line there, but that'll give the run to the Suzuki, which is what I thought he would do. It would happen.
Andrea Dovizioso.
The Suzuki has done it. Will he win it? He finishes second. Andrea Dovizioso fish to the Ducati management. They want him to win. Well, it looks so good. The Suzuki has done it. Finishes second. Turn. I just thought 9 and 10. Well, it looks so good.